Alright, I'm here with a different kind of video. I can't really say a new kind of video because this is actually something I've done in the past to not great success. 2016, I did, I think, three videos of what I've been playing. Just I'm talking about some random games that I'd been playing and some thoughts on that, more in like a vlog-like, unscripted fashion, and they didn't do very well. But I have like twice the amount of viewership. I think probably more than that at this point now. So I figured, kind of desperate for videos ideas to do. So I figured, I've been pretty prominently playing three pretty big release games, and I figured I could talk about them and kind of just give some thoughts in a more in-depth way. Hopefully this video won't be too long. And of course, I do give a lot of thoughts over on my Twitter on games that I've been playing, just thoughts on game stuff in general. So I recommend you follow me over there at Objo Gaming. But I will jump into these and just kind of give some thoughts. Not going to talk spoilers or anything like that. Maybe baseline stuff, but no, it's weird. It's always weird of what people describe as spoilers. But the first game here can't be spoiled. But I'll say, they're probably the way people do spoilers. Probably actually can be spoiled somehow. But we're not gonna let that bother us. No spoilers for the most part. Someone might say something I said is a spoiler, but I'm not gonna. I'm pretty sensitive to spoiler stuff too, so I'm not gonna say anything crazy. And this is kind of bothering me, the glare on this, because I actually bought this digital to just always have on my Switch, and then I bought a physical copy for the collection because I'm a madman. So the wrapping is gonna have a little bit of a glare. But let's get into this video. 2 minutes in, we'll talk about the first game, Animal Crossing: New Horizons, which I've been having a great time with. I've been having a lot of fun with it. I have like 65 hours into it, so it's a bit wild, right now, current circumstances. Not much to do, so it kind of came out at a great time. But yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with it. I don't know if I like it better than New Leaf, though, I have to say. That might be a little controversial because I know everyone really seems to like it. I like it a lot too. But I think I like New Leaf better. Just a lot of the stuff I think just worked for me more. I'm not huge on the gated progression that this game has. Just kind of all the waiting you have to do. I know they don't want you to just play everything at once, and I don't time travel, so that might be part of it. I know they don't, but they obviously don't make the game for you playing, 6 hours a day. But current circumstances will say otherwise. But yeah, so like the first week is kind of painful in a way. There's not a whole heck of a lot to do. You have to hear the same song. I never want to hear that song again. That first week song. It's grating as all heck after hearing it all day. But yeah, there's just little things like that. I feel like every Nintendo game, every game that Nintendo puts out, there's always something. There's always something. It's almost like they make like a near perfect game, and they're like, all right, so right now this game will get like a 9.0 across the board. How can we do things to knock it down a few pegs? I don't know what it is. There's always every Nintendo game comes out with something. And I just feel like, yeah, the kind of gated progression, obviously, not being able to transfer your save file to the cloud is pretty bad too. A lot of the work that people put into their town are going to be lost if something bad happens to their Switch or whatever, which is really bad. That's a really bonehead move. But yeah, I don't really like. I like you have to wait like 4 days or something for the museum. You have to wait forever for the town hall, stuff like that. Not huge on that. I feel like the way they rolled stuff out in City Folk, or not City Folk, and New Leaf was just a little bit more friendly and a little bit more engaging. It kept bringing me back, excited for stuff to do because there just felt like more stuff to do. I know they're trying to do it in a way where it's like, oh, okay, well, you can look forward tomorrow. You'll have this building. You look forward, you'll have the upgraded Nook store or whatever. But well, I mean, I'm talking more at beginning. I feel like where I'm at with the game now, I'm pretty happy with it. Although it does feel a little bit light on content. We just got the new update with like Leaf and everything, which has been fun, and Red and everything, and the new museum upgrades. But yeah, it does feel like going back to New Leaf, you have all that stuff with like the little town, and you get the little like the DJ place. And it's been a while since I played New Leaf. You could get the shoe store and all that. And yeah, it just feels a little bit empty in comparison. But I mean, it looks great. There's some really, it's kind of weird. Like all the furniture and all the bugs and fish look like hyper realistic for some reason. It's really impressive. There's some really, like the lighting's really good. It's really actually graphically very nice for the style that it goes for. And yeah, I don't want to say that I don't like it, because I really, really, really do like it. It's just, I don't know. Right now, I feel like it has a lot of potential to be my favorite Animal Crossing game. Because we don't know really what's coming too much in the future. I know they plan on supporting it for years to come. So we don't really know what's going on with that, moving into the future. But currently, it does feel like I just, hop on the game, play for like a half hour, and, go about my day. Kind of just doing the same routine of picking my fruit, maybe getting some fish. And I'd like maybe a little bit more variety of what I do. The online's kind of, the online, it's probably the best online on like a Nintendo published Switch game, which is kind of sad. You have to wait through like a minute long menu anytime someone comes to your town, which is horrible, really, really tedious. And if you have several people coming to your town, then you're just going to be stuck, like everyone's going to be locked in for a while. I'm not really sure the reason for that. But once you get in there, it works well. I hadn't had any problems with it. It's fun to just kind of, especially right now, like exist in a world with your friends and then talk on Discord. God knows you're not going to be talking on the Nintendo Switch app. I don't know if it even supports in this game. But yeah, I mean, the online's fun. I liked comparing it to New Leaf again, I really liked like the mini games you can play. And when you went to the island in New Leaf, and it's kind of a shame that they didn't bring those back, although I could see those coming in an update soon. But overall, Animal Crossing New Horizons, great game, a lot of fun. Definitely recommend. Definitely a good time killer. The current current state of affairs, and yeah, having a solid time all around. I'll go in release date order of these games, and I'll probably put timestamps down in the description, so you could just, if you're interested in hearing thoughts on a specific game, you can just hear that. But my next game here I'm going to talk about is Persona 5 Royal. Let's get now we got the steelbook case with the light reflection. You just can't win. You just can't win. But come to this channel for quality. You come. I don't know why you come for this channel, but Persona 5 Royal is a re-release of Persona 5, which is one of my all-time favorite games. And this is pretty much everything I wanted it to be. What sets this game apart from the original is, quality of life updates, a whole new like chapter at the end of the game, which is really, really, really good. Not going to talk too much about it, but it's really good. And, just some new characters that are really, I think, added into the main story really well. It doesn't feel like just tacked on, which I really appreciate. And yeah, just overall quality of life updates are really nice. I remember I was trying to go for the platinum trophy in the original game, because it's kind of difficult, but it's doable. But I missed, there's some requests that you can take in the kind of grind dungeon that they give you, and you do requests and like side quest missions, and you get text from a character to do those. And I missed one of those texts, and you can't go back and get that mission. And one of the trophies is forget all the missions. So I was like, I can't go back and get, you already have to replay the game at least twice to get the platinum, and it's a long game. On Royal I clocked in at 110 hours, so definitely don't want to do a second playthrough. But in this game, there's not a trophy forget all the missions. And you cannot miss missions from the character who texts them to you, which is really, really great. The trophy list on this is really good. I got the platinum. It's not too difficult, only takes one playthrough, which is, for a game this length, I think should probably be the norm. I think 2 playthroughs is a little bit of too much of an ask. But yeah, it kind of, I don't know how many people care about trophies, but I'm pretty hardcore into them. I'm not like die hard, but I really, really like them, and I think it's a really good list. It kind of, there's some story related stuff, there's some stuff, go experience this, go do this, and there's a lot of stuff, just tied to getting the new content as well. They rework one of the main characters who I thought was a little bit lacking in the original game. They rework that character and make them a really, really, really interesting character that ended up actually being one of my favorite characters by the end of this version, which is cool. Um, there looks like they did another like a pass through on the localization again. There's some lines I noticed were changed. There's some kind of awkward lines. I tend to think Atlas is one of like the top has one of the top like English localization teams. I mean, just the fact that they could localize this 110-hour game and it all is insane. But I feel like they have a really good team. But there were some really really weird lines in the original one that just didn't work. One of the characters says something about so long to this abominous world, and abominous is not a word, so that was a little bit strange. But really, really, really happy with how this turned out. Um, I know a lot of people are saying, wondering if it's worth $60. The new content adds on about 25 hours, I would say. Probably, so I would say it's worth it for that. I mean, it's a big ask to get someone to replay the main game if you're not like diehard into it. But if you've never played the game before, I definitely recommend jumping in. And if you've played the game and you're really into it, I would highly recommend jumping back in. I think you'll be really surprised and really pleasantly surprised, like I was, with what they added, with what the little changes they made, and all of that. I'm not going to talk too much spoilers. I know they changed the ending a little bit. I think it's a more fitting ending than the original one. I know a lot of people disagree, but I thought it was a pretty good ending. I didn't have any problems with that. And yeah, it was really cool. Again, the final chapter, I went into it thinking not much of it. I thought it was just kind of going to be some random events. I didn't know there was going to be significant story content, so I was really happy with that. I was thinking it would be more like Persona 4 Golden's final chapter, kind of end game content there, where there's not too much to it, but this is like significant story content that, like I said, changes the ending. Where the characters are and everything, and it's really really good. I mean, the villain that they put in as at the end content, I think is really awesome, and it was something I wanted to see more about. Like I see more of that concept. I don't want to get into spoilers. I wanted to see more of that concept in the main game, in the so I wanted to see a character like that, like a villain character like that, because there's several villain characters in the game. Wanted to see a villain character like that, but we didn't get anything like that. So I was really happy to see, that idea put into this, and it's really, really good. They almost could have probably made a sequel out of it in some way. I know we're getting Scramble, which is a sequel in a sense, but they almost could have, done like a full sequel out of it almost. Just kind of fleshed it out even more. Although I think it really 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 works with how long it is and just what they did with it. I was really impressed with it. I'm not going to ramble on too much longer. If you want to see spoiler thoughts, I did a like twit longer on my Twitter, full of like just spoiler thoughts what I appreciated on that, so you can check that out over on my Twitter. If you want to see that, maybe message or comment and remind me if I don't post it. But highly 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 impressed. I know some people, like, one more thing with it. I know some people kind of think it's weird that we got this game still on PS4. The original one came out 3 years ago on PS4, and we're already getting, an upgraded version. These people probably just don't follow Atlas. Atlas re-releases every game that they put out with an expanded version. Whether you like that or not is not up for me to decide. I think it's kind of weird. But I'll keep taking them because, Golden is great. Catherine Full Body is great. This is great, so I'll keep taking them. Atlas was a smaller team. It is weird now because they're owned by Sega, so they probably don't need to do this for funding anymore. Persona is big as big as it's ever been, and they're owned by Sega, so they probably don't need to do this for funding. But just remember that Persona 3 FES came out like 8 months after the original. Golden came out 4 years. It was on a different system, like a handheld system. It would have been nice if this maybe came to like PC or Switch or something, but I'm very happy with what it ended up being, and I highly recommend it. I'm going to stop rambling about it because we're going to get in the big boy now. Probably the real controversial one. Final Fantasy VII Remake. Let me try propping this open instead. Maybe there'll be less glare. Yeah, that's a lot better. Final Fantasy VII Remake. So, again, Final Fantasy VII is also one of my favorite games. That's definitely a top 10 game for me. It's my favorite Final Fantasy. I know it's a normie. Normie answer for what your favorite Final Fantasy is, but I think it's fantastic. I think the original game still holds up remarkably well. Uh, Pretty much the only thing I don't think holds up in that game, honestly, is the character models. So they went the complete opposite in this game and made like the greatest character models I've ever seen. Well, maybe not, but pretty close. The character models of the main characters, at least, are incredible in this game. They look great. Um, and yeah, I graphically, I think it's good. Um, I'm playing on base PS4. I don't have a PS4 Pro. I just never, never bothered. Um, so, but maybe it's just me, although I've seen some like Digital Foundry and stuff do comparison videos, and it doesn't seem like it's too far off what PS4 base PS4 and PS4 Pro got. But there's really distracting that there'll be like random things in the game that are like have like really low res, really really look really bad, and the game looks like amazing a lot of the time. I think really at nighttime it looks great. The lighting's like phenomenal. I think at like night scenes, yeah, the game looks awesome. But during the day, you can really start to notice some textures that just look atrocious and stuff like that. So that's a bit of a bummer. I know they did it on Unreal. I'm not sure why they did it on Unreal when they own the Luminous engine that Final Fantasy 15 was made on. Very strange because they have to, license out a portion of the money to Epic now for this, which they wouldn't have had to do if they used Luminous. Very strange. I said on Twitter I hadn't played Final Fantasy 15 since it came out like over 3 years ago. So maybe I'm just out of my mind, but I feel like the world itself, like outside, looked better in that game than it does in this game. I'm not going to say that game looks better because, like I said, I think this game looks way better with character models and with night scenes. But when you're out in the day, and I know most of the game takes place in the slums during the day, so it's not supposed to look great anyway. But yeah, it just looks really strange. I'm not going to go too much on that, but I really like it. I think the combat is really, really clever. I think it's really, really fun. It's really cool how they could take that active time battle and how they could take it from turn-based and put it into, full action combat. And it's not like, a lot of action combat can get kind of just button mashy, but there's a lot of strategy left in the game, in how you fight and everything, which I think is really awesome. I think they did a great job with. I think the story is cool how they're expanding on it because obviously this is only about maybe half of the first disc of Final Fantasy VII, so we're getting it several parts. I was really worried about that, and I still kind of am of how they're going to do that. But it kind of, made me feel a little bit better how well this turned out. So that's that. That's good at least. But yeah, it seems like this is going to probably be at least 4 games, which seems a little bit like we're not going to get to the end of this with how Square Enix works. We're probably not going to see this it'll probably be finished, hopefully, best case scenario by like 2030, which is kind of weird to think. So we could technically see this go over 3 console generations, which is wild. I don't like to think about that. I hope maybe they can get best case scenario, they could do like every other year releases, but I don't think that's going to be the case. I really do think we're going to be seeing this, 2030, if not further on than that. So that's a little bit strange, but I like what they did. Midgar is really, really cool, which is the town that the first kind of pretty much just opening takes place in. And that's really, really cool. How they just take that opening spot that's pretty iconic, pretty awesome, and really expand on it and make it a lot more real seeming, I guess. You get to see a lot more of of what they're going for with like how the upper plate is like all the rich people and the slums down under the plate are, the slums. So that was really cool. You can really see what it feels like there's more of the original creator's intent can be seen in this game just because it's not, 32-bit blocky polygon idiots walking around. And that's really, really cool. I'm really, really impressed with it. I think it's really, really awesome. Once again, I don't want to go into spoilers. I like how they flesh out the story. Like I was saying, they, give more character development and character in general to Avalanche, who had 3 scenes. The 3 members of Avalanche had 3 lines in the original game. Now we get to see more of them. kind of get to know more about the whole operation. Yeah, I just feel like there's a lot more of the original artist's intent now that at least I can realize now that I'm looking at a game that looks a little bit more modern, that's a little bit more clear. I really like the voice acting. I know you can often get made fun of. I feel like the main cast is really good, which is cool because it's a main cast of a lot of people that have not had a lot of game roles before, so that's really awesome. And I think it's really good. It has that problem like almost every Japanese game that gets localized and gets a translation in a dub has, where the main characters sound great and then the side characters and all like the NPCs sound extremely goofy. So it has that, which it's fine. The world is like really alive. All the characters talking and everything is really, really, really cool. Just how much there is and how cool the world is. I'm really impressed with it. I'm really excited to see, because I think honestly the Midgard part's really cool in Final Fantasy VII, but I feel like the game gets far more interesting once they leave the city and they go out, into the open world. I'm interested to see if they're going to go open world like Final Fantasy 15 route for the overworld, or if they're just going to, kind of get you from place to place and you get to explore each area instead. Very interested to see where it's going to be. Obviously, it's going to be on PS5, so we'll get to see the benefits of that. Load screens are pretty long, so it'll be cool to not have to put up with that. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else I want to say. I'll probably tweet more. I'm just about to finish it, so I know the ending is a little bit contentious. I'll probably, by the time this video's out, I'll probably have seen it, but yeah, I'll probably tweet more thoughts on it once I'm done with it. So once again, another plug, follow me on Objo Gaming on Twitter. But I'm really happy with it. I think it's really, really great. Oh, and the music. How did I not talk about the music? But I can't wrap the video up before talking about how clever the music is as well. So it's not just like, oh, this is the classic Final Fantasy VII songs, but it sounds more orchestral. It sounds like actual instruments, not MIDI. I don't think it's actually real instruments. I think it's just really good MIDI. But it's and the original Final Fantasy Final Fantasy VII soundtrack is excellent, even if it is all MIDI. But they do like really cool things with it, where they'll like, okay, not only is this the battle theme, but it also has little bits of like this area theme or this character's theme. It's really, really cool. The soundtrack's phenomenal. It's really interesting what they do with it, and I really like it. So yeah, I think Final Fantasy VII Remake is fantastic. Extremely excited to see what we're in for going forward. Really, really cool. And once again, I'll talk more about it on my Twitter, and I'll probably do another like spoiler thread of my thoughts once I finish it as well. So yeah, thank you for watching. Let me know if you like videos like this, what I could do to improve them. It's more kind of just supposed to be kind of casual, almost podcasty type thing, and me just talking about the games I've been playing. But yeah, let me know if you like it. Leave a like if you did. Leave a comment. Let me know, what you thought. Leave a comment as well. Let me know what you've been playing lately. I'd like to hear your thoughts on what you've been playing lately. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Follow me on Twitter, like I said, and Instagram, which I don't use as much, but they're both at Obju Gaming. And I will see you next time.